Hey, this is James with my spiritual intention review. And spiritual intention is the first component of our meditation forms. When I say form, it's more of don't think of it like a mind. Don't tense it with your mind, I guess is a good way to put it. And just simply sense your energy and your awareness, particularly around spiritual intention or higher level of consciousness. So those are big words for people who aren't familiar with what that space is, but ultimately you could look it up on Map of Consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins, where it refers to a spiritual paradigm of the highest levels of energy and vibrational frequencies exist around places like enlightenment, joy, peace, and love. So we would think of those things, and we'd start by thinking of those things. And if you need help getting into that space, you could also think of a person, place, or thing or time where things were good and you have a good feeling about it, good memories. In my particular example was a dog that picked me. She was a good dog, and she passed, but a lot of great memories before she did. And just thinking of her makes me feel good because she's such a smart canine. She would, call for our meals. She would tell us it's time for bed. All the crazy things that dogs do. And you dog lovers know what I'm talking about. But it could be anybody. It could be a loved one. Another space for me was when my second daughter was born. That was just an incredible experience, being in the room there. So whatever works for you to help you feel and get in tune with the energy surrounding that space, not just the smile on your face or the memory itself, but the feeling that it promotes. And we focus on that area because there's actual scientific proof that when you're in your highest level of spiritual intention, that you're actually less dense physically. So, and that goes directly in line with increasing the power without force in your Sunim Tao forms, your Kung Fu Sunim Tao forms. So, ironically, this is all engineered around what's called a small thought. And we're talking about 10 times the power in your strikes. It comes from structure, space, energetic space. But there's so many other things to cover, but this is about spiritual intention, and it's a critical one because it's a primary area of focus. So whatever speaks to you and whatever you want to be in your life, a peaceful, loving person, a Christ-like person, kind person, those things are where you focus your time and your mind and your energy. And we focus around our breathing to help settle into that space. Intention with respect to spiritual intention is, and the highest level of consciousness, there's other forms like training and your martial arts intentions or your physical life intentions. But again, this is more around simply sensing that energy field. And once you get into that space, and once you continue to get into that space more frequently, it becomes a lot easier. And you have a oneness with the whole field of energy around you. It's not just your personal space. So just like anything, I think Malcolm Gladwell, is that his name? The author of Outliers, where he talks about 10,000 hours. gets you first chair in the orchestra, or judge-like performance and at the plate in baseball, whatever it is. Obviously, there's anomalies like people like Gretzky and Jordan and whatnot, or whoever you want to add to that list. But yeah, practice makes perfect in this case, and it's critical to find that space, not just for your own personal form, but with respect to martial arts. But you can take this wherever you go in life, wherever you are, and I think that's a good thing, right? You take some responsibility around your energy, you focus and stay in that energy, and you're not just helping yourself, but you're helping everything around you, because your mental, emotional, and energetic and physical space is in a much better place than if you were to just blindly move throughout your day. So what we do is we have people close their eyes, surrender, and rest in that energy. Repeat to themselves, I am peaceful, I am kind, I am joyful, or even all three. And it could change. It doesn't have to be one thing all the time, right? And once you get into that space, we move forward into other things, which we'll cover in separate recordings. There's other elements like centering, sensing, syncing, surrendering, seeing, and actually getting into the state, so that you can, all of the same vibrational energy you're in from getting into your highest level of intention exists in your forms. Because and everybody, what's crazy is there's always becoming a master in this space is the internal arts is such a unique thing, because like the physical forms, it takes time. It's easy to destroy things physically. Hammer. The best part of construction is the tear down, right? And everybody can do that. This internal martial arts form requires a little bit more faith, because it changes and adjusts and grows as you move forward, becomes stronger as you move forward, and improves your physical attributes of your forms as well in an incredible and intense way. Spiritual intention being the most important. So, every one of us is at a different place or space with respect to that, right? Everybody is beautiful inside like the sun, right? We just are. And, there's distractions or clouds, right? If we're talking sun, but let's talk clouds, that happen in life that create and form, whether it's authority or distractions or other things that just change the structure of who you are. Our ego is framed around that for survival. So this is again about belief, settling into the space of who you are, which is most important, for all the obvious reasons, I think, and staying centered in that spiritual intention and sinking, so rising and releasing at the same time. Spiritual intention is a formless structure, and an important one, almost as if a good stance in your when you're performing your katas or fighting or whatever situation might be. This is an etheric or spiritual stance, if you will. Anyway, those are my thoughts on spiritual intention. I'm sure I'll have other ones and other things and caveats and additions and sidebars and angles, just like in life. But that is fundamentally the structure of the form and the idea of spiritual intention. And look forward to doing more with y'all here as we move forward in the study and practice of Kung Fu with One Tao, Sifu, John Kogan, and the rest of the crew. Have a great day.